welcome back to The Woman Factor. Last but not least, our guest tonight is an author, Melinda Turner, and she is here to talk about her book, If I Only Had 25 Hours in a Day. Welcome, Melinda, to the show. We're so glad to have you and speak about your book.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
And so grateful to meet you.
Oh, you too.
My book, If I Only Had 25 Hours in a Day. Oh my goodness, where do I start?
Right.
Well, let me start for where I am right now.
Okay.
I'm all about purpose. My life, is, went in a great direction. And I guess you want to say in 2-3 years ago, it wasn't where it should be. I was losing myself. I was losing my connection with God. I was losing my connection with family. I was waking up, just going to work, coming home, doing what you have to do, being a wife and a mother. You was just losing that. So what I did was I made a lot of changes, which included I did not work for about 9 months. And that was just something I had to do. Of course, everybody can't do, what I did and the steps I took. But what I did was I took some time off to kind of get reconnected. And that's what I did. Oh my God, I found myself back to my family, to God. And I found that, by doing that, I found purpose. And through all those steps I went through, that's where the book came about. I asked the question, what would y'all do if y'all had 1 extra hour? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And basically everybody that answered the question said the same thing. It was always geared to something personal, something for themselves. So you can see as women, we tend to put ourselves last.
Right.
Okay. And the book, If I Only Had 25 Hours in a Day, was the way I was living my life. I was trying to do everything, outside of 24 hours, which neglected sleep, family, God, right? And you can't do that. Right. So what I did was, like I said, I took some time off, I refocused myself, I renewed my connection with family and God, and that's how the book came about.
Well, I love the title. I mean, it's so neat and different. And hey, I wish we had an extra hour too. Wouldn't that be so helpful? Yes.
And that, right, exactly. And that's why I entitled it that way, because God gives us 24 hours.
Right.
And so we have to utilize what he gives us. And so the problem was we weren't prioritizing.
Right.
We was doing everything, that you thought was important and leaving out what was most important. And so what I did was when I prioritized God, family, and everything else, everything came into place.
Now, is this your first book? How long did it take you?
It is. It only took me probably about between 9 months to a year to write. But of course you had to go through the process of the editor, and getting it corrected and getting it printed. But like I said, I'm all about purpose, but the book wasn't on purpose until I changed my life.
Yes.
And then I had to kind of put it down on paper because I'm trying to, connect with other people in the same situation. So, it doesn't take 49 years, to make that, connection with yourself all over again. And as for women, we do try to, do it all. I was coming home, working a full-time job. I'm a registered nurse.
Right.
And I do have a teenage son, and I'm married. And I was trying to be all to everyone, and we can't do that. We really can't, because then we lose our connection with ourselves. So.
And you mentioned you're a nurse. Did you always know you wanted to write a book one time or become an author, or or just recent events inspired you to write this book?
Just recent events. Sometimes when you have a story to tell, that's when the book comes to play.
Yes, of course. Now talk about your, being a nurse. How does that go hand in hand with being an author?
Yes. I love being a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 20 years, and I've been through a lot of different areas. And right now, I'm currently working part-time, and that works for me, part-time in the home health community. And I'm connecting with patients and family, and I love it. I love that one-on-one. I don't think I'll ever give that up. The book part comes into play, but as a nurse, that's my heart.
Of course. Now, I know I want to read this book. Where can customers or viewers watching get access to it?
You can find it on Amazon.com, of course. And I do have a website. It's Melinda Turner, bestlife.com.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
And any social media?
Yes, I do have a social media account. It's under Melinda Turner.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Well,
Yes.
great. I want to definitely check that book out. Now, talk about, I know you're in the early stages of starting a nonprofit organization.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. I mean, even though I'm busy now, it's
Yeah.
a different kind of busy. It's a more spiritual, fulfilling busy. I'm in the early stages of wanting to start a nonprofit organization called Nursing on Purpose.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I love that. You come up with good titles. I mean, wow.
I do, because I'm all about purpose, but what this is going to be about is mentoring others and serving, because I mean that's what nurses do. They're caregivers,
Right.
and I definitely want to do that out in the community. Yes.
And you're hoping to, maybe expand that as well, get it, I know you're working hard with that nonprofit, but did recent events inspire that as well? Or you just always, you knew, you had a purpose, you knew you wanted to start a nonprofit.
Sometimes, your steps are already prepared for you.
Right.
So,
Yes.
once you complete this task, then it's not enough. You have to move on. You have to keep growing. And I think that's something that's next on my agenda.
Of course. And
Yes.
being an author,
Yes.
being in the
I'm
early stages of the
excited.
nonprofit, being so
I'm
busy, being a part-time job, and how do you juggle being a mom as well and personal life?
Well, like I said, I prioritize God, family, and then everything else follows. Yes.
And so talk about, the book a little bit about, I know the purpose, recent events inspired it. What can, readers
Find in the book?
Yes.
Yes. Well, what I did also in the book, I wrote my testimony. I explained like the different scenarios of how I was going through the day, just going to work, coming home, not really connecting. So in the book, I brought in some steps that I took as far as exercise, also about connecting back with the family. I also put in some meditation in the book.
Ooh.
And as a nurse, I also had to put a little spin on it, because I also explained, the stress level and what it can cause your health, things like that.
Now, are you from here? I know
Yeah.
you grew up in a large family,
I
right?
did. I'm the youngest of 7.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Whoa, okay.
I did. I grew up in Racine, and I currently live in Thibodeau. Yes.
And now talk about, your passions. What do you feel like, your life is meant to be? I know you want to live your best life, right? I know you quoted that.
Yes. My best life consists of, service work. I think we all are called a service.
Right.
Yes. And I participate a lot more in church, and also I enjoy now able to travel with my son. He's in the band.
Oh, fun.
Yes, he's in high school, and we travel a lot.
Awesome.
Also with my husband, we also travel to Tennessee. This was a passion of mine. It developed just right before the book. We travel to Tennessee once a year, in which we participate in a recovery celebration with gospel singer Wes Morgan. And I am a certified substance abuse practitioner.
Wow.
Yes. And so,
Wow.
so that came into play, that we go out there once a year and we fellowship with them. I also teach on addiction. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
A lot.
And so we love that. We travel, we just out there serving as much as we can.
Right. All good things. You do a lot of things in our community, Melinda.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. And I also, I don't want to, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I just want to say that I love, volunteering, because I also am on the board of the Sissy Bridge House. Y'all familiar with that, right? Right here in Houma.
Yes.
And it started out with me volunteering there, teaching on addiction and talking to the fellas there, and and answering questions from a medical standpoint.
Right. Wow. Well, it sounds like you are so involved in so many things, which is great.
It is.
Thank
it
you,
is
Melinda.
wonderful. It
Yes.
is.
Yes. And thank you for sharing all about your book. I can't wait. I'm going to read that. I love the title.
absolutely,
Hello.
absolutely.
Again, I wish we had another hour in the day.
All right. Thank you so
yes,
much.
thank you so much, Melinda,
You're
for coming on
welcome.
the show.
Thank you.
And thank you to our viewers for watching this edition of The Woman Factor. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Up next is sports with Hillary Domingue. Don't go away.